Welcome to the Monday podcast.
Hello?
You know what I don't like? This is just a rant and it has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
I do not like when soccer takes an international break. So we just played a game. Manchester United just beat Sunderland.
Red flag.
And now there's an international break, so we don't play again for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but soccer is year round.
I know.
It is literally always on.
It's not always on. The World Cup's next summer in the United States and Mexico and Canada. World Cup 2026. So there'll be games in all three countries.
Are you going to go?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I signed up for the raffle to get tickets, but I didn't win. I wasn't selected in the first draw, so I got to wait.
Oh, you can't just like buy tickets?
No, not yet. They're kind of doing it in the drip to create demand and all that kind of stuff, and it's just going to be way expensive. And so
it's kind of like you enter the raffle and then can you pick where you want to go?
Yeah, you can pick where you want to go, but they don't have the teams yet. So you're just like picking game 7 at, in Houston.
You don't want to go to Canada.
I'm not going to Canada. I'm going to either go to Houston or Dallas because that's where the games are.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll go to Mexico game with you.
Which game? Where?
Wherever it is in
Monterrey?
Mexico.
I think there's a game in Monterrey.
Tijuana.
I don't think there's a game in Tijuana. I don't think so. The cartel's like, no.
I just like saying it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're picking up, this is a part 2 on basically frequently asked questions in marriage and dating. And we've done 1 through 4 and we've got 5 through 8 today. And so we're just jumping right in. And right here, this is a fun one. We're starting off spicy.
Oh, Lord.
This is your favorite subject.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm not prepared.
You're not prepared for this. What does a healthy sex life actually look like? So people are asking this question. What does a healthy sex life look like? Oh, I knocked this prop off. Sorry. You want to start?
It's relative. I mean, it's different for every marriage. There's not like a cut and dry answer, like you should have sex this many times a week. But I think a healthy sex life looks like, again, really good communication around desires and needs.
Mm-hmm.
And that is between you and your spouse when you are married.
I heard it talked about this, that the marriage bed is a picture of what the overall marriage actually looks like.
Interesting.
So again, if the marriage bed is purely where the wife is performative, right? And she has to perform for her husband, essentially what that means is that she is always having to live in a performative state. If
I can see that.
Right? If you feel like your sex life is just kind of disengaging, it's kind of like autonomous, or it's just kind of going through the motions, then more than likely in your marriage, you're kind of going through the motions.
Yeah.
So what does a healthy, sex life look like? I would say, number one, the biggest challenge of people today when it comes to what a healthy sex life is pornography. Because pornography has informed
That's so true.
our understanding of sex to an egregious degree, and for men and women now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of women who would prefer to, just to put it frankly, prefer just to look at porn and masturbate rather than to be intimate with their husband.
Interesting.
And it goes the same way for the husband.
I read a stat the other day that the percentage of women watching porn has grown to like where it's like 50-50 across the board. Like men were leading in that category and now it's women, or it's 50-50, but the effect is so much stronger on men than it is on women.
Yeah.
But there's still, I can't remember exactly how they put it, but there's still obviously an effect on women. It just is delayed and they don't realize it as soon.
Yeah. Well, the challenge is, if I have been informed by porn and then I take that into my marriage and then I ask my wife to become performative, that is like the number one way to kill your sex life.
Oh, sure.
But there's a lot of marriages that are living in that.
Yeah. And I think the dangerous thing is that men don't realize that they're even doing that, probably.
No, they don't. They've seen it. They've been exposed to it.
And they think that's normal.
They think that's normal. But I think going back to this idea of the marriage bed is a picture of what the overall relationship looks like. So does the marriage bed feel safe? Does it feel intimate? Does it feel loving? Is it fun? Is it frequent? And I think sex should be fun and frequent. Frequent is something different for every couple.
Yeah.
But I think once a month is not frequent.
No.
That is like.
Check your pulse.
Oh yeah, your marriage is on life support. And I think here's my thing though. This is where maybe you can speak to this, because there's a lot of women out there that probably, because you and I had this conversation of, I just don't need it as much as you do. But actually you did, and you do, maybe not as much as I do.
Yeah.
Like there's always going to be one cup that's going to want more than the other. But what would you say to women who just tell themselves, I don't need it as much as he does?
You may not think about it as much as he does, but the term sexual tension, if you have a lot of fighting going on in your marriage, or just a lot of tension, it is probably because you are not having enough sex with your husband. But you may not feel like you need it and think about it and crave it like he does, but you need that for intimacy and connection with your husband. That is like the most intimate way to connect with him on, it's the only, the deepest level of connection with your spouse.
But you and I have even talked about, again, one of those like a post game report of, and kind of like, what do you like?
Yeah.
Did you feel like
loved?
Yeah. Do you feel loved? Do you feel like, and I used to ask you, okay, what type of environment can I create? What can I do that would foster that desire in you?
Yeah.
And there's a lot, I don't think there's husbands that, maybe the husband just expects it. But then there's like, I have to do the work of cultivating that just space to where it's a culmination of all of our marital actions into that moment.
Yeah. I think the best way you do that for me is by relieving some of my mental load. So at the end of the day, I'm tired and we've shuffled the kids, and I'm thinking about the next morning waking up and the kitchen is a mess and there's stuff all over the floor. And when in the evenings, you're like, all right, kids, 15-minute, I can't remember what you call it something different every time. It's like fun time, crazy time,
15 minutes of fun.
15 minutes of fun. And the kids are like, oh, what are we doing? You're like, we're cleaning the house. And they're like, but for me, that's like, if you want to get me going, get my motor running, it's like 15 minutes of fun. Great.
Then I get 15 minutes of fun.
The house is cleaned up. Everything's ready to go. I can go back and I can go back to the bedroom, and I know that's all taken care of, and I'm not thinking about the craziness that is going on in the living room and the kitchen. And just relieving my mental load for me helps me get in a different mindset.
Look at you. You talked about sex and it wasn't weird. Okay, next question.
I'm sweating a little.
You're sweating. Why do so many marriages feel like business partnerships? I think because a home sometimes has to have operations, right? You have to operate your home, especially with your kids, and you've got schedules, and you've got this, and you've got work, and you're, okay, have you gone grocery shopping? Have you done this? Have you changed that? And there's so much activity in the home that it's very easy to kind of slip into kind of roommate mode or like tag team. And you just stop taking time for one another and making sure that you're staying in love, having good communication, like, hey, this person isn't my roommate, because at some point the kids are moving out. Yeah. And
it's just going to be you two.
And life's going to slow down a little bit. And am I still in love? Am I still cultivating that in my marriage? Not just thinking purely logistics and
It is so easy to get there, though.
It is.
And I feel like there's been seasons where we felt like you've told me, you're like, I just feel like your roommate and I feel like your Uber driver. Like I say, where do you need me tonight for the kids? And I'm like, take
Here,
this
here,
person
and
here,
here.
here, here. And then we've never like, I don't know how to put it in like great terms, but like taking a second to like flirt in the kitchen or grab each other and give like a passionate kiss when we're like trading kids,
Or just saying something sweet.
saying something sweet, joking around,
Little text messages.
having fun together.
But what do you have to do in your mind to remind you of that, right? So it's like, if it's so easy to flip into kind of roommate mode, how have you been cognizant of, okay, he's not just my roommate. He's not just my Uber driver. He's my husband.
Well, I think we've had a lot of conversations about that because I can get in autopilot task mode, and you communicating what your needs are. Like, you will do anything I ask you to do. Like, I need you to take Winston to baseball and then pick up Ella from dance, and then I need you to go to HEB and get all the groceries for the week and come home and put them away. You will do that and not complain, and it will be awesome. If it's not like it's conditional, it sounds like it's conditional, but if I'm like sweet to you and I'm telling you I love you and I'm like making you feel like you are who you were before we had kids, like who were we together before we had kids?
Yeah.
And that was this like fun loving, spontaneous, and that's not realistic all of the time, but we have to bring back some of those elements to remind each other of like, you are really fun to be around.
Yeah.
And I really like flirting with you and treating you like you're my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Again, and not just my father of my children.
Yeah, I think flirting doesn't have to always be sexual.
No.
Right? I think that's what you needed from me.
I need a friend.
Yeah, you need like a flirty, humorous, like it's more jovial rather than sexual. Because I think I could just grab your butt all day, and you're like, I've been touched by 4 kids. I don't want to be touched. But something fun, something light, and just keeping that on our mind, which again takes time. It takes conversation. A marriage is built. It's built over time. And I think that's the thing, is like when you first get married, it's fun because it's new, but you haven't built anything yet. And then you hit year 7, and it's like a construction site. It's like it's dirty, it's chaotic. You get kids running around, and it's like, well, you're still building your marriage. Like, you're still working on it.
Yeah.
Okay, next question is, do Christian couples have better marriages?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Because we have a firm foundation in Christ, whereas I feel like, non-Christian couples don't have that.
I think if Christians who have a Christian view of marriage, they have a better marriage. But there are Christians that don't have a Christian view of marriage, that have a cultural view of marriage. And they have applied their cultural view of marriage, and they're still a Christian, but they've applied their cultural view of marriage.
What's a cultural view of marriage?
Well, I think there's a lot of Christians who would be like, number one, and I know there's going to be people who are listening. And again, I say this all the time. You may be with the right person, you're just doing it the wrong way. So I think number one, like,
get married,
stop living together. Like, if you're living together, you are not practicing your relationship in a Christian way, right? You may be Christians, you might say that. And I would probably say you do believe that Jesus is Lord, but just maybe not over that particular part, which, hey, let me just lean in with you. We all have space for sanctification and growth. And the Lord will always deal with us. But I think that's the challenge. I think couples who, again, have a cultural approach to their marriage while claiming Christian, divorce is way too quick, too easy.
Why do you think that is?
Because they don't understand really the biblical view of marriage, and they don't understand covenant. And when things get hard, it's easier just to quit. Quit, and I'll go find another one. Is that to say that there probably were marriages out there where maybe you find yourself, you're in a second marriage? Okay, cool. Like, you would agree with me then that divorce is not good, right? People who have gone through a divorce, I would say, would you, like, if you could have been saved from that divorce, I know that means that probably would mean that you're not with the person you're with now, but we can all agree that divorce is not a great thing. It's very detrimental and hurts very much. And that's why the Lord says, I hate divorce. And I think it's because people don't have a true biblical understanding of what it means to be married. So I think if they have a true biblical understanding of what it means to be married, then yes, Christian marriages are better. Does that make sense?
Totally.
You got any questions on that?
No, it makes sense. I think that sometimes Christians, and maybe this applies more to like new believers, think that if it's hard, it's bad. So I've made the wrong decision because all of a sudden it's hard.
Yeah.
And there is an aspect of like denying, not an aspect. It is a denial of self over and over again. Just like we, pick up our cross daily to follow the Lord. In marriage, it is a denial of self.
Yeah.
And that doesn't stop. And I think, I mean, it could go back to, is it easy? But yeah, I think we think hard things are, if it's hard, it's bad.
Yeah.
Instead of like growing through it, we just give up.
Well, you think about it, in ancient Rome, one of the primary markers of Christians was their marriage practices. And that was one of their biggest witnesses, was their marriage practices and their sexual ethic. Once they became a Christian, they no longer lived as the Romans did. And it was one of the things that even Roman historians used to write about Christians, is they used to write, they're so odd. Like, why do they were perplexed by the Christian perspective around marriage, which was one of the greatest witnesses. And here's my thing. Marriage is God's idea. A man and a woman that come together in covenant before God, for better or for worse, through sickness and in health. That's why we make those vows. That becomes a testimony to the world about what it means to actually love, to love and sacrifice. That's why Paul goes, husbands, love your wife like Christ loved the church. Okay, there's an element of death to self in that. And then wives, submit yourself, submit your pride, submit your like independentness, your like neck waving, like no, dude, like no man wants that.
We talked about that in Disney World.
Yeah. Let's go to the next question.
That was very eye-opening.
Last question.
In Disney World.
Very much so. Okay. Yeah, Disney adults.
They're
Disney
a different
adults.
breed.
Here's the thing. There's a small percentage that are like normal. And then there's a large percentage that are like, y'all weird. Like, you are weird.
Yeah.
It's odd. I know that people are going to think I'm mean for that. But
they've probably never been to Disney and seen it if they think you're mean. Because once you see it, you're like, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Last question. What do people who are dating right now often get wrong about dating?
Well, I think one thing we've already touched on is that you have to have sex to see if you are
sexually compatible. Okay, can I talk about that compatibility stuff? Okay, if I go into an encounter where I'm sleeping with somebody and I'm asking the question, am I sexually compatible with them? I'm not asking, am I compatible? I'm asking, do they perform in a way I want them to? When the marriage bed was designed to be a place where you got to grow together in that. Like, that's some of the funnest part, is
figuring it out
with somebody. It can be awkward. Let me go to the dating mistakes. I'm just going to talk to the dudes for a second. Ask her out.
Oh my God. Not through DM, not through text message, face to face.
I would say like this. DMs are like the laziest, low quality, just brain rot way to do it. I think a actual in the flesh, hi, my name is Eric, and I find you really attractive, and I would love to buy you dinner sometime.
If you have ever done that in the last 5 years and you are a guy watching this or a girl watching this that a guy has done that to, DM us and let us know.
But maybe
we'll send you a gift card.
Maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're wrong.
No, we're not wrong.
But maybe Gen Z girls don't want to be talked to because they're all like social, and they're like, I don't know what to say. Do they prefer to be DM'd?
I think they do prefer it because they don't know any better. They haven't seen any better because that whole generation, we've had this discussion with our kids.
Yeah.
It's like, no, people aren't doing that. I'm like, well, they should.
Yeah.
They aren't doing that because their parents haven't taught them right, or I don't know, they haven't wanted to branch out and be the one that's different.
Yeah.
But they should be doing that.
Yeah.
We've had this conversation with our daughter. I don't know if we should talk about our kids on the podcast
Maybe not.
like
we
that.
haven't asked permission yet.
But just talking about like their friends or whatever. And it's like, that boy does not like that girl unless he tells her face to face. And they're like, people aren't doing that. That's kind of weird. And I'm like, are we just old?
No, I think it's rare, and rare is a good thing. And I would tell guys, like, it's okay to be shot down.
Yeah.
Like it's totally fine. Yeah. You're not going to melt and go away. You don't have to go hide in some little like cave because you were turned down. In fact, all that does is make you better.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, we're hunters, so get out and hunt. It doesn't mean that every time you go hunting, you're going to catch something. It means that, okay, cool.
But like, I mean, don't just.
No, I know that's an oversimplification.
I like the analogy.
Yeah, you got to take it for what it is. There's a nuance to it. The other thing I would say is like, don't date in isolation. So like, if every time you're spending time together, it's just you two alone, you don't really get to see them as a person. Like, date in groups. Like, go do things with other people. Get involved in a connect group. Get involved in a church. See how they interact outside of just one-on-one. Because my thing is this: if they're just one-on-one, sometimes they can just be a character. They can play a character. They don't really
see how they treat other people.
Exactly. Right. Are they respectful to a waitress or a waiter? I don't know if that's the politically correct term. Are they
server?
A server, right? Yeah, I would say those are the big ones I got off the top of my head.
Yeah, I would say also when you're dating, don't isolate yourself to each other. I can't remember where I heard somebody suggest this, but when you're dating, take a day off every week where you don't have any contact with each other.
You don't text one another.
You don't text, you don't call, you don't see each other. You just live your life. And then like a whole 24 hours.
I was talking to a couple the other day and they were like, we spent every day together until we were married. Like there wasn't like one day they didn't talk or were together until they were married. I was like, whoa. That's wild. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying like that's a lot of time together. And sometimes just a day away, just especially in the early days, let it breathe a little bit.
Remember when we got married, our whole relationship was long distance.
Yeah.
And so when we would see each other, it would be like isolated pockets of time, like 3-4 days. And sometimes we would hang out with friends. We would go to church and hang out with family and stuff like that. But then we got married, went on our honeymoon, and then we drove cross country to move into our apartment together. And we just had been together for like on the cruise and then
the drive.
In the car, and we were unpacking our 1-bedroom apartment. And I just remember standing over the couch, unpacking a box and just feeling like this tension, like we weren't talking to each other. And I was just kind of like annoyed that you were.
Yeah, you were annoyed that I was there. You were annoyed I was alive. You're like, I wish he wasn't here.
I just was like, I just haven't been alone.
You needed your own time.
Yeah, I need my own time. And you could feel it too. And you were like, hey, would you mind if I went and played golf? And you didn't even finish the sentence. And I was like, yes, please. Go.
I'll be gone for like 5 hours. Perfect.
Perfect.
Great.
Even better. Better.
Yeah.
So it's just like we had been together for so long. And I think time apart is really important. And just to like be yourself, get to be by yourself and remember who you are and get stuff done.
Love
Maybe
it.
Come back together and be friends.
It's great. Hey, so that's episode 2 that's questions 5 through 8. But again, we would love to answer some of your questions. And thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on social media, Instagram. You can go look it up, or you can give us a subscription here on YouTube. And if you like it, man, send it to somebody. Maybe they might listen as well. Leave your comments if you have any or questions. We'd love to get to them. And tune in next week as we continue talking about our Monday. Later.